Hi everyone and welcome. I hope you can hear me well and you can see us. If you can hear us or if you can, please leave your comments. It's all good, we can hear, everything is fine. And if it's the first time that you're here and you haven't seen me before, my name is Raquel. I'm from Ironhack, which is a global tech school. We have boot camps, of course, on data analytics, web development, and UX UI design on campuses around the world, in America and Europe, more specifically, and remote boot camps, actually. If you want to know a little bit more about this, let me just tell you right now, you can go to the green button here below the videos, and you can find more info or ask me or anything. All right? Perfect. Glad you can hear us. And before we go on, I'd love to know, I can see that we have people from all over the world in here. I'd love to know where you're from. I know there's some people from London here, Costa Rica. That's amazing. Would love to know where you're from. And if you want to share your background, what you're doing right now, if you're thinking of a career change, why you're joining, it would be amazing to see that on the comments. But regarding questions that you will be having during the webinar and going into crowdcasts and features and so on, I'd love that you keep your feedbacks and your comments here on the comment session. But if you want to make questions, please do so on the Ask a Question here, Ask a Question below the videos. You can upvote other questions. So if you see that someone is asking something that you'd like to know, please upvote it. And during the webinar, Pedro will be hosting, but Jose will be answering all your questions regarding the code along and other generic questions that you might have. All right? All right. Netherlands, Portugal, Berlin. Amazing. All right, guys. So continue with the rules from Crowdcast. We have ask a question. I told you, please leave. I can stress enough your questions there because they will get lost in the chat. And if we have time and your questions haven't been answered during the webinar, we will have a space for Q&A in the end of the webinar, so you can ask more generic questions or even about Ironhack and so on. All right? Oh, we have a lot of different backgrounds here. Amazing. So as I told you as well, we have here the green button if you want to know a little bit more about Ironhack or if you want to know about extra resources and upcoming webinars. We have other webinars, not just about data, but around other topics. And we'd love to see you, of course, in upcoming webinars. Last but not least, this webinar is recorded. So if you don't have the time or you can't keep up with everything that's been going on, but you'd like to review, you can. Okay, don't worry about that. I'm sure Pedro will be guiding you through what you need to know for the code along. If you didn't get to install everything, don't worry. Try to keep up anyway, since you can review it. But he will go through it in the beginning. All right, guys. So I think if you have no other questions, Mexico, Spain, all right. If you have no other questions or if you have no notes, I will pass the word to Pedro now, since he will be hosting and he can present the webinar and so on.
Thank you very much, Raquel. Hello, everybody. Can you all hear me and see me well? Please let me know, yes or no. At least you can, Raquel, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we're in for a treat today. Nice to see some familiar faces and names there in the chat. Some of my students. Good to see you.
If we have former students or actual students who are doing boot camps right now, please say so in the chat. We'd love to know.
Yes, I already saw their Quintela, non-ironically. we have there, I also saw Joan. We have a bunch of people, which makes me very happy. Let me see if I can share my screen properly. So give me 1 minute, everybody, and we'll be off. So, Diogo Sanchez as well. Nice to see you, man. Okay. João saying hi, Pedro. I don't know which João it is. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
All good, I think.
All good? Okay. Let me know if you guys can see my screen as well at home. I'm going to start my presentation. And it's a wrap. Let's see. Okay. Okay, everybody. Good afternoon. I promise this won't be too painful. Okay. What's going to happen today? Today, I'm going to teach you, like high level, okay, how we can use Python to interact with Office tools. And here I say Office tools in a, with a dual meaning. On one hand, Office meaning where we work, because these are things that we do at the office on a daily basis, at least I've done in the past. On the other hand, there are also Office tools because of Microsoft Office, you know, like the suite. So the way this is going to happen today is the following. I'm going to give you a brief presentation, let's say 10, 15 minutes, I don't know how much I will talk for, regarding an overview of the topic and why I believe it's important for you guys, okay? And then after that, we're going to go back to the code and we're going to be doing some code along, okay? So one thing, for those who don't know me, that I value very much, which is ask questions as you go along, okay? Don't be shy. I know here, if this was a normal classroom, you guys could interrupt me. Here it's harder with the chat, but nevertheless, you know, make yourselves heard in the question section. And Jose will try to answer your questions. Jose, as you know, if you feel it's a question that everybody will benefit from listening to me answering, feel free to interrupt me and we'll get to it, okay? So I hope everybody is okay, in a good mood, and we're gonna start if there are no problems. Okay, so everybody, first of all, myself. So I studied physics very briefly. Then I did some research in theoretical physics in a computational group. This next point is important for today's webinar. I worked for 3 years in a big bank called BNP Paribas. You probably know it, in a team called Analytics Consulting for 3 years there. I absolutely loved working there and everybody in the team, etc. And a lot of this webinar today is going to be based on use cases and scenarios which myself and the team at AC, Analytics Consulting, we came across on a daily basis and that we had to, you know, tackle to be able to help our clients. Very briefly here, Analytics Consulting is actually a great idea that BNP had, in my opinion, because they decided to create an internal consulting team that will help many teams within the bank, okay, the bankers, the traders, etc., okay, would help them by producing some types of projects which either, you know, automated their life, which, you know, had some sort of dashboarding, some sort of reporting automation, also some lead generation. So it was a pretty cool job. I can't complain. And again, a lot of what I'm going to teach you today is motivated by this, okay? Furthermore, these are details, but I'm actually a teacher at a local business school in Lisbon, the Católica Lisbon School of Business and Economics. I'm the proud lead teacher at Ironhack Lisbon, like it's written there. So I taught both the part-time and the full-time course now, and I absolutely loved it. And actually, starting on Monday, I'm going to start a new position at a company called Brand Bastion, which is as a data analytics lead. Brand Bastion, long story short, it's a company that provides analytics services for marketing campaigns, social media interactions to drive more interactions from your companies. Okay, so Mariana Fernandez over there, my friend from AC. Good to see you here, Mariana. So Mariana and I, we worked together for a long time. Anyway, one thing I also always like to say is the following. My email is there, pedro.vidal.carneiro@ucp.pt, okay? Feel free to send me emails. Many of you after the webinars usually, you know, send me emails regarding yourself, your projects, or any questions you have, any advice you may want. Please feel free, okay? I try to answer them, let's say, you know, depending on how many, but within the week, I try to answer them, okay? Okay, here we go. Second of all, of course, we have my good friend and part of the teaching team, Jose Pereira. Okay, today he's there with his camera off, you know, because of, you know, connection. There's a lot of people online here, but he, you know, I've worked with him for a while now. He's a teaching assistant at Ironhack for data analytics here in Lisbon. You can also send him emails. He's very approachable. I mean, look how awesome he looks in that picture. Of course, you want to send that person an email, and yeah, so. Either myself or Jose, feel free to send us emails. We can also send you on the chat in the end our emails if you want. Okay, let's go to what really matters. So, what's on the menu for today? Like I said, I'm going to start off by giving you an overview of the main Office components that I'm going to be talking about. Okay, and so here I'm going to these are going to be my slides essentially. They should be no longer than 10 minutes, 10, 15. Let's see. Then what we're going to do is we're going to simulate some sort of data preparation in Excel, okay? Something which maybe many of you do on a daily basis, okay? We're going to simulate that. And here, I really hope everybody will be able to code along. I'm going to talk about the packages you require in a minute, okay? Then after that, we're going to build a report based on our Excel analysis. This is going to be fun. And then in the end, we're going to send the report by email to our bosses, okay? And this whole pipeline illustrates the process of automating, office tasks, which is the objective. So let's see. First of all, my students already know. Those who don't know me are about to find out. I like a lot to teach through memes. Okay, these ones I found absolutely hilarious, and so you'll see many memes to illustrate these concepts during the presentation. It is what it is. Okay, so here we go. Talking a bit more seriously now. In big companies, okay, most data analysis and/or reporting tasks usually involve what I'm going to talk about now. First of all, they involve the same tools, okay? Maybe you're using something different, maybe you're using a Tableau or a ClickView or something, but boiling it down to basics, everybody uses and knows how to use nowadays Excel, PowerPoint, Word, or Outlook, Even my mother knows how to do this, so everybody does. And so today we're going to try to interact with these tools, okay, using Python. Then the thing is, many of these, data analysis and reporting tasks in big companies that we used to see in BNP on a daily basis, they are repeatable in the sense that many times I would have people come to me saying, yeah, I have to every day when I get there in the morning at 8:30 in the morning, I have to open this Excel spreadsheet, copy this, paste it there, and then in the end, make a report out of this and send it by email. This could be happening on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. This is very, very common. If you guys ever felt this in your own jobs, in your companies, please feel free to say it in the chat, okay? And as I'll read along as we go along, I'll be able to comment as well. So again, guys, this is very, very common. So last but not least, and this is the big danger that we used to see at BNP at least, many times, imagine I'm the person doing the report, okay? And there are very specific specificities, to be redundant, but there are many, many specificities that only I know about building a report, okay? Maybe I only take the clients whose name starts with A because one day my boss told me that, once. And so all this knowledge is on my side, and so I know how to do it. But if tomorrow I go on vacations, I leave the bank, then nobody else knows how to do it exactly in the same way. And so this here is a source of operational risk, plain and simple, which I saw this in a bank is a big problem, because operational risk, so we really want to reduce at the maximum, arguably even more than costs. And therefore, we need to be able to have a way to standardize this process. And for those of you who know Python, you already know this. For those who don't know, you're about to find out. Being able to write down in code systematically the steps that you need to perform, it's a great way to put the knowledge there forever, And so even if I write the code and then I leave the bank, maybe Mariana, who's here, who used to work with me, she can come along, she can take my project and she understands what's there. This is very important, okay? Continuity. It's ironic that actually Mariana kept a lot of my projects when I left the bank. Anyway, so let's illustrate now the process end to end. So I don't know about you guys, but at BNP, I saw Excel spreadsheets everywhere, okay? Every team had their little 1, 2, 10 Excel spreadsheets where they kept a lot of pieces of information. And this looks to be fine, this is fine. But then when a whole organization starts to do this, all the information starts to be scattered around. And then it's very hard to make sure everybody's working the same way, okay? So again, as a disclaimer here, I'm kind of, bashing on Excel, but I think Excel is amazing, okay? So I'm not very good at it, but I think Excel is absolutely amazing. It's basically a front end to a database, which is awesome. But the thing is, because it's so amazing, it's so easy to use, the thing is that everybody uses it, and then it can become a bit the open bar. That's the problem sometimes. And so then we need to find a way, again, to make this systematic. So some problems with Excel. I did say I like it, but I think if any of you have already used Excel, you've come across something like this, some of the pitfalls. which are whenever you want to write a little piece of logic, many times you end up with a massive, massive formula, okay? And so you have this massive, horrible beast, and then you change one little thing, and this horrible message appears, and then all hell breaks loose. At least when I see this, I know I'm in trouble because I have no idea what I should do, okay? And yeah, so I hope there are no questions so far. If there are any comments, feel free to comment on the chat. I see Mariana and João, who used to work with me, trolling around the chat. So feel free to copy them, okay? Hello, guys. And now, let's imagine that even though I'm here complaining about all of this stuff, imagine that I managed to do my beautiful Excel file. It's great, you know, it's looking good, looking sexy, with some cool figures. What comes next? What comes next is many times to build either a couple of slides, as we had to do many times at BNP, or a Word document, some sort of report, okay? So this is what had to happen next. And so we've all had this, you know, our manager come up and he or she would tell me, could you please do a couple of slides or a few slides about this? And then, you know, you're in trouble, okay? And then many times, and I used to see this a lot at BNP, which is people building these reports, they ended up having a million Excel spreadsheets open, and then they would copy paste from everywhere to put everything in one place, you know? And so here I like to use this this meme, you know, of when you're copying things. I do this a lot, you know, I do Control C many times. But the point is that this is, you know, this is fun and all, but what are the pitfalls about this? When it's time to build a report, and we saw this happening many times, we would see some disadvantages, clear disadvantages. And many times our jobs, and what I tell my students a lot at Ironhack to do, our jobs was to find these use cases where this work was being done in a manual way, go there and try to map the process from start to finish of all the steps this person was doing, all the copy pastes, you know, and then automate that. So let's go through the disadvantages. First and foremost, it's very error prone. You imagine that every week you have to do the same process where then you have to update a report that has, let's say, 5 graphs, a couple of tables, you know, and some text. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's very easy for me to forget to update one graph or update one legend, and then I'm in trouble, right? And this is where a job that should take, you know, 10, 15 minutes to update a report can take 4 hours. And this is what we need to fight against. So it's error prone. Second of all, it's static. It's inevitably static, meaning that it will quickly become obsolete. Whenever you take your Excel file and you do your beautiful analysis, the moment the actual data source in the back has updated, but you already put it in your report, but without that update, it's over, right? It's no longer dynamic. And so, again, these sorts of processes are by definition static. Some of you can tell me, yes, but we can connect it to a Power Query, we can connect the Excel to a database. Sure, you can. This is true. Good luck with the speed. It will be a bit slow at some point. Nevertheless, we can do better. That's my point, okay? And then finally, it's time consuming. I think I've already been here really touching on this point many times, but not only can you make mistakes, not only will it become static and obsolete very quickly, but also it takes a lot of time. And really, sometimes I used to sit down with people from teams of operations who had to, you know, do very complex reports, you know, absolutely complex reports. And they would take me through the steps, absolutely labyrinthic steps, you know. And then at the end of the day, I would ask him, how long do you take to do this? And they would tell me, yeah, you know, this every week, this takes me like my Friday morning, a whole morning, which is a lot, you know. Anyway, so nevertheless, let's imagine we powered through and we built that amazing slide deck, okay? Now what do we do, okay? When I say slide deck, it can be a Word document, then you do it to PDF, it can be whatever you want. Let's think of it as your deliverable, okay? So I remember, again, at BNP, I remember this client I had, you know, he did a very complex Excel analysis, bringing together a lot of information, adding quite a lot of value in the process, you know. And then in the end, he had to send this, okay, by email to a bunch of people. And here, this brings out a whole set of problems in itself, okay? Why? Not only, well, sending things by email, that's fine, we all use our emails, that's no problem. But many times, you have to then manually go see who do you send the email to. For example, this client that I had at the time, he was preparing a report for all the head of trading desks across the world for BNP, okay? And so if I remember correctly, these were about 200 and something people, okay? And the thing is, because BNP is a big bank, these names are changing. And so the thing is, what happens is that, okay, I send it to these 200 people one week, but next week it's no longer the same 200 people. They have changed. One has moved, and gone to a different function. Someone new came in. So how do you automate this process? Do you go there one by one and check the emails? This is painful. So nevertheless, this normally is what you have to do. And so for today, we're very close. I'm very close to stop talking and going back to the code, I promise. For today, the strategy is going to be very simple. What I want to do with you guys is that we're going to write a simple code that interacts with our Excel spreadsheets and performs the necessary data analysis, okay? All in Python, interacting with Excel. Then we're going to generate a Word document. It could be a PowerPoint, but I decided to do it a Word document for the sake of time, containing the main insights. And then finally, we're going to send the resulting report to a list of emails. Okay? This is the deal. So before I start, are there any questions? I see here some questions. Let me check out. The asked question is pretty clean. Ze is being very efficient as always. Regarding installations, so let's leave here. Okay, so first of all, Jose is going to include in the ask a question section a links to the Excel files we're going to be using. Okay, so I can also put it here. Okay, but for today, we're going to be doing some data analysis on these data sets, these two Excel files. Okay. And so for that, if you want to follow along, you're going to need this. Nevertheless, if you don't want to code along and just want to pay attention, this is very valid. What we always do is, in the end of the webinar, not only do we share the recording, so you can then code along in your own time, at your own pace, but we also give you all the code that I will write, okay, and all the necessary documents that you need, okay? So we always make sure that happens. So it's a bit up to you. Okay. Any questions before I start? Zay, if you can put on the ask a question section the link. I don't know if you have already of the Google Drive. That would be great so we don't lose it. I hope there are no questions. And the adventure today will begin with everybody having open in front of them a Jupyter notebook. So what do I want? I want everybody to have open. Can we use Google Sheet? Ooh, yeah, so Google Sheet, you're in trouble, my friend, because it won't work. You have to use really Excel on your computer, okay? Okay, so let me open here. It's already here, the folder. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes to get this together, okay? What do I want? I want everybody to have open. If you want to code along, okay, a Jupyter notebook here, okay? And then I want it to be open in the same folder. I want you guys to have the two Excel spreadsheets, okay, that I shared with you in the chat, in the link, okay. We'll be getting. So yes, Rajesh, you also send this question. We're gonna share everything with you, also the slides, everything, okay. I hope this helps. Let's give you a couple of minutes before we start. Let's see, how are the questions? Thank you, Jose. Okay, so here we go, my friends. Everybody, so the first thing we're going to be starting to use, okay, is the package Excel Wings. And so if you guys are coding along, like we said in the introduction of the webinar, in the description, it's important that you guys have installed Excel Wings, okay? And so for this to be working, you should be able to do this. Import Excel wings as XW, okay? And if you run this Python code, okay, so import Excel wings as XW. If you run this line of code, it's waking up still, but it should work fine, okay? And it should not give any errors of packages, etc. Okay? Now, I know many of you in the audience have never touched Python, probably, or know very little of Python. So let me just tell you how this is going to work. If you guys have no experience in Python, you will understand conceptually everything I will do, okay? I hope, if I do a good job, okay? I really think that this is structured in a way that you guys will understand everything that's going on, okay? The code itself will be hard for you to follow, okay? If you have never coded in your life, anything, okay? If you have already coded some things, then you'll be able to follow no problem. So again, a basic understanding of Python will help you with the code along. If you never touch Python, that's fine. You'll be able to understand everything that's happening here, okay? I hope if there are any questions, now's a good time before I start coding, okay? First of all, in Python, one of the things that we use a lot are comments. So this hashtag, this is a comment, okay? And I like, my students know, I like to leave a lot of notes in these comments to help you in the future when you're studying this, okay? And so basically, what I wanted to say here is that what we're doing upstairs, okay, is importing a library, okay, in Python. So what's this thing? What's a library? The thing is, everybody, one person or many people had a lot of trouble and a lot of work, okay, to be able to code this little thing inside, because Python is interacting with our Excel spreadsheets, as we'll see in a minute, okay? And it's doing this in a way that we barely touch, okay? We just call some functions from this package, as we'll see, and he does everything for us. Very, very quite advanced things. Let me see how we're doing here in terms of questions. Is it possible to, there's here a very good question. Is it possible to use Colab? So I don't know, Gonzalo, this question is a great question. I wish it were possible, okay? I'm using this Jupyter notebook on my local computer. Why? Because the answer to your question is Colab is not possible to code with, okay? Why? Colab is a Google Cloud tool, okay? And we will be using a lot of things which are in our local computer, okay? Our email, our Excel, it's controlling our local computer, and so the cloud cannot do that, okay? I hope I answered that question properly. I think we're good. Okay, let's continue. So if we have done this, the first thing that I want you guys to, I don't see here any questions as well. The first thing I want to do, okay, is let's do a new cell. Let's have some fun and create a new Excel book, okay? How do we do this? We say new underscore book equals XW, which is our library here that we called it, dot book. What are we doing here? Let's run it, see what happens. Look at this magic, everybody. I promise that I didn't open Excel manually, okay? As soon as I ran this piece of code, okay, he opened an Excel for me, okay? And so by doing this, we're already seeing this thing of having Python control Excel already, just like that. So let's make sure you guys were able to do this. xw.book, okay? Hopefully, I think we're okay. I see here, Erwan, I got this error, no module named AEM. You have to check that out, man. Unfortunately, I can't do much from here. Try Googling that. And if you had this working, the rest should work, okay? So, oops, I've made here a mistake. I put this new Nook and not new book. This is classic me. Thank you, Carlos. Okay, let me do it again. A new book appeared here. Let me close this one, and here we go. Okay, so Thanks a lot, Laurent, as well. This is classic me with the typos. Now, this looks great. How about creating a new worksheet? Okay, so let's go. Let's go for this. So we're going to say that our new worksheet is going to be called inputs, okay, which is equal to new underscore book, which is, don't forget here, this Excel. It represents this Excel over here. New book dot sheets dot add, open parentheses and close, in quotes, you can write here inputs, okay? And check it out. I'm going to run this, and by magic, a new tab just opened. So a new sheet just opened inside my Excel, okay? Pretty cool stuff, I think. And so what's going on here, everybody? What's going on is that, once again, I cannot stress this enough, for those of you who never saw Python, we are calling a Python library that was coded by other people to make Python interact with Excel, you know? And this is great, because now you can create your own workbooks, you can create your own sheets just by writing these little simple lines of code, which, if you think about it, are very readable in English, right? New book dot sheets dot add. I mean, this is quite simple to read and understand what's going on, I believe. And so this is pretty cool. So I hope there are no questions so far. So good. Let's put a bit of pity here. Let's make this a bit more interesting, and let's do this. I want now my new sheet. So I'm going to call it again. I can do it. My worksheet is going to be equal to new book, new underscore book, dot sheets, and then 0. Why 0? So don't forget, why am I getting index 0? So as we'll see, the sheets method returns a list, and the first element is our inputs sheet. Let me put this over here so we can still see. Let me show you. If I do this, new underscore book dot sheets, you see here, it's a list where each element in my list is one of the workbooks, okay? Again, if you don't know what a list is, don't worry too much about it, okay? The point that I'm trying to make here is that you see how this Excel, which we created, has 2 worksheets here. We see them here, look, inputs and sheet 1. This is the point, guys, okay? Very good. And now I stored this whole worksheet, okay, inside a variable called worksheet, which is great because now whenever I want to do something, to my worksheet, okay, I simply call the variable I named. Let's see what I mean by this. For example, I want to write down something in my Excel. Ooh, let's see if I can do this. So worksheet dot range, okay, I'm saying where in the worksheet do I want to go. And then in here, I put in quotes A1 dot value equals, let's see what I'm going to write here. Hello, how are you? Something pretty, nothing cool, just like this, okay? What am I doing, everybody? I still didn't run it, okay? Let's see. I'm saying, go to my worksheet, which is this tab over here of the inputs, don't forget. I'm going to the range, A1, what am I saying? A1 is the cell, you see. I'm referencing the cell A1 exactly, okay? This friend over here. And then dot value, meaning I'm going inside and I'm going to say the value is this thing. So if I run it and there's no problems, look what just happened. Just like magic, what I wrote down here can now be found in the Excel. So this already is an excellent example, I believe, of Python controlling what's going on in Excel. You see, I am writing down here what I want to happen, and it's going there immediately. You see, if there are any questions, please ask them now. Let me see here how we're doing on questions. Very good. I think we're doing fine in terms of code. Nobody's asking for code along questions. Once again, you'll have the recording here if you then want to code along everything slowly by yourself, okay? Okay, now, but I mean, this is still pretty boring. We can do better. Why don't we do this? Let's do some formatting to our Excel worksheet. How are we going to do this? We're going to say worksheet dot range, dot range, exactly. A1, once again, I'm going to go bully A1, dot color equals 0, so in parentheses, open and close parentheses, 0, comma, 100, comma, 0. I want everybody to think what's going to happen. I think you can guess what's going to happen, right? I'm going to run this thing over here, and he just painted my cell green, okay? You see? And there you go, already. So, very good. We already had somebody knowing it was green, great. And then, of course, you can play around with this. I have no idea what will happen if I do this. Let's see. Okay, this little cool turquoise. I don't even know what this color is. Anyway, you guys get the picture, right? So we can do some formatting, but we can do better, my friends. We can do better. Why don't we do this? Because, I mean, this is not very nice. The cell is very small, right? Why don't we do this? Worksheet dot range, A1 again, dot column underscore width equals, let's say, 50. Okay, here we go. And just like this, boom, wow, we have there my cell, beautifully colored, and that's it. You see? So nicely colored, nicely adjusted, everything is there from Python. So this is Python not attacking, but controlling Excel, okay? Changing things on the actual Excel. So this looks good. So somebody's challenging me to try this. Okay, for sure. 23, 103, 89. I mean, this can be bad, I think. Okay, that was not a problem at all. Okay, so did I make a mistake? No, it looks good. Okay, so my friends, so this is just how we can do some very simple formatting in Excel, nothing special, okay? Let's put a bit more pity here. Let's do something more interesting. Let's do worksheet, okay? Dot range, A1, okay? Dot clear underscore contents, open and close brackets. Here we go. And it's done. Of course, clear contents, what did it do? It cleared the contents, okay? Pretty obvious once again. And so you see, once again, I'm doing all these things to Excel in a very intuitive way. That's the point I'm trying to show you, okay? If instead of clear contents, okay, instead of clear contents, you can also just do clear. Let's see what happens here. I copied this friend over here. I put it there downstairs, and I just do clear. And there we go. It clears not only the contents, okay, but also the formatting. Clears both the contents and the formatting. Okay. And this is a wrap in terms of very basic Excel wing stuff. Okay, I'm going to show you now something a bit cooler. Are there any questions so far? Anything you guys want to point out? Feel free, really. Okay. So Mark, the code just started with import Excel wings as XW. If you want to see, there you go. and then just create the book and do the rest. Okay? Hope that helps. Okay, everybody. Now, thank you also, Sophia. How do I know which codes are which color? I don't, my friend. Somebody does. That's not me. Okay, that's not my department. Okay, so Eduardo is asking, can you insert an image? Absolutely, you can insert an image. Okay, we're gonna be doing that in a minute. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna be doing that more in the report side of things. We're gonna input a graph. It's gonna be pretty cool. Okay. And then you can do many more things, okay? Everything you can normally do with Excel, you can also do there, you see? That's pretty sweet. Okay, everybody. But now, let's do something cooler. So far, we were messing with Excel from Python, okay? Can we use Python to read the contents in Excel? Well, of course. Let's go. So let's go back here to Excel. I have to admit, guys, whenever I'm in Excel, I don't really know what I'm doing, but let's just imagine that you have a client, okay, who had to input his or her information. So name, let's see what else, age, and let's do something else, I don't know, hobby, okay? So my name is Carneiro, okay? My age, I'm 27. My hobby, I like to sleep, okay? So let's imagine that somebody wrote this down here in your Excel, and it's something much better. But let's imagine you give this to your client, and he or she are inputting data. And then from Python, you want to be able to read that data. Well, that's not a problem. What do? You say name equals worksheet, worksheet dot range dot range. You have to say what's the range. If I want the name, it is in cell C3. You see, C3. Okay. Dot value, which is whatever is in there already. And so let's after that do print name. And so just like that, he got my name from the Excel spreadsheet. Okay. So, and guys, it might seem like a very simple example, but this is pretty cool. Let me explain to you why. When I was developing a financial tool for a fund, okay, what did we have? We had an Excel like this, where the traders, okay, who were inputting stuff like this, it was a much nicer Excel, but in the end of the day, they were inputting information. And then we had here a little button where they would click, and that would launch a Python script which would read all the inputs of the Excel and go make calls to APIs for market data, calculate complex financial models, all of this based on the inputs there, you see. And this is really cool, why? In the end of the day, the cool thing about this is that Excel, everybody loves Excel, okay? And so you can give a nicely predefined Excel to your client, and he or she will just fill it in. And then from Python, you can get all the information, okay? So again, if I copy this, and I also do it for age, okay, and hobby, of course, instead of C3, I do what's it called, C4 and C5. And then now if I do print age, there you go, 27.0. Okay? I hope this is clear so far. My main objective so far was to show you how this is, a no-brainer. It's not that bad. Okay? Now let's go for something a bit more interesting. Okay? So one last thing I wanted to show you very briefly is the problem with doing things this way is that if you now copy this from here to here, for example, sorry, not copy, cut. You do Control X, Control V. You're in trouble already, right? You're in trouble already because now C3 is empty, you see. Oops. So let me go back. How do we solve this? We solve this by never ever referencing things explicitly, okay? How do you do them? You name the cells. So you come here to the cell which contains the name, and instead of calling it C3, you come here and call it name. Okay? And now this cell is called name. Here you call it age, and here you call it hobby. And now the cool thing is, guys, even if I do Control X, Control V to anywhere, okay, if I here call the same variables, let me copy this and paste it there, referencing them by name, name, age, hobby, then it works. You see, your client can do whatever he or she wants to the Excel, okay? They can completely wreck it. As long as they don't change the names, your code will be robust, okay? So Christina here is writing, it's like VBA from an external point of view. Very good, Christina. In my opinion, it's like VBA in Python, okay? Instead of VBA, it's Python, and I'm biased, but that is infinitely better. But I don't want to start here VBA versus Python war. Also because I would win, because I'm the only one who is able to speak. Anyway, so now I hope this was clear and useful so far. Let me see if in the asked questions, I think we're doing good. Jose, as always, is taking care of everything. Okay, great. If there are any extra questions in the end, I'll have some time to answer them. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Not bad, not good and not bad. Okay, so let's go. Let's do the report. So I'm going to close this Excel, and now's the time where it's going to be useful. Now is the time we are going to do our report, okay? Now's the time where it's going to be useful if you want to code along to have the data sets that I gave you here, okay? So let's open them and see what's going on here, okay? So what are they? Very briefly. So my students already know that I use this data set a lot, that I love this data set, the sample superstore, okay? It's a data set that shows many orders that customers bought of a bunch of stuff, you know? So here, Aaron's mailing bought some folders, okay? Great. And the thing is, what I was trying to show you guys here is the following. You may have on one side of your company this Excel, okay? Imagine that the sales department has this Excel with all the information of the sales, the discounts, the quantity, the profit, okay, of your sales. Great, looking good. But then another department which takes care of the returns. What's a return? Whenever somebody buys some stuff that you don't like, you know, you return it and you complain. And so there's another Excel called returns, you see here, which just is a very simple Excel. It just says each row is an order ID, which is telling you which orders were returned. Okay, so what do I know? I know that order ES 2017 whatever was returned. You see, and so this order is in this Excel somewhere. You see, if I go here back to order ID, that order is somewhere here. I hope that's clear, the context. And so what do we want to do? The use case here is my job, I'm a data analyst, okay? And my job is to bring these two Excel spreadsheets together to be able to understand how many values of sales and profit are we losing because of returns, okay, of returned orders. So I hope that's simple, the concept. How to do it is going to be a bit of code, but we're going to do it, don't worry. The thing is, you can quickly tell me, for sure, I can imagine, you can tell me, yes, Pedro, in Excel, that's just doing a VLOOKUP. Fine, okay? You can do that. But let's do it in a Pythonic way, okay? And so for this, let's go back here to my code, if the context is clear. For this, we're going to start off by importing all of our Excel spreadsheets into Python. So for this, we are going to use a library called pandas, okay? So we have to do import pandas as PD. This is probably the most useful data analysis library in Python, okay? And so we're going to import this, and we're going to say orders equals pd.read_excel, open and close brackets. It's called dataset.xlsx, and comma, the sheet name equals, I believe it's orders. I hope I don't have a mistake here. Let's see if it worked. What is this thing doing right now? It's reading, okay, my Excel spreadsheet, okay, from the folder which I have in my computer here, dataset. You see? Let's see. He's complaining a bit. Hopefully he's going to be okay. There he is. If I now do orders.head, let's take a look at our data. And there we go. You see, we have all of our data here. Just like we had it in Excel, we have it here. The .head method, okay, the .head method simply returns to you the top 5 rows. Nothing interesting, okay? And so what's the use case here? Once again, I want to get the orders. I then want to copy this, okay, and get the other one. Let's get the returns data as well. So returns equals, I think it's called returns .xlsx. Let's see, I'm not making a mistake. Returns, and the sheet I believe is also called returns. Okay, so let's see if this works. I didn't make a mistake. It worked. And so if I now do returns.head, once again, I see the first 5 rows of the return data. Okay. Now, oops, what am I doing here? I turned this by accident back to code. Okay, now my friends, if this were Ironhack class, what I would now ask my students is, okay, now what do we do? Because I have here my orders spreadsheet in one Python object. I have here a returns, and I want to know the values of the sales, okay, and the profit of all the orders that were returned. The thing is, of course, the returned orders are these ones. And here you have both returned and non-returned orders. And so what do I need to do? I need to bring them both together. I need to be able to get only the orders whose ID appears in returns. So let's write this logic down. So I have there R1 saying we join both. Very good, my friend. So the logic to apply is that we only want the orders from the orders whose ID appears in the returns table. And like everyone said, I hope I'm pronouncing them correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. We're going to do a join. Arturo, you have this error here. I can see it. It's because you have to do read_excel, not just read. If that's the error you're having, that's what's going on, my friend. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's perform this join or VLOOKUP, as you would call it in Excel. Okay. Just to be honest here in front of over 400 people, I don't know how to do a VLOOKUP in Excel. Okay, that's me being very honest, but I know how to do it in Pandas. So let's go. Return_categories equals PD. Sorry, I'm making a mistake. Returned orders equals orders dot merge. So this dot merge method, the merge method is what will connect both tables. Okay, I want to connect. What do I want to do? I want to connect the orders, okay, with the returns, okay, on, and here you have to write down correctly, order space ID, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it has to be order ID exactly like it's written there. Okay. So, oops, let's see if I do this and I run this, no errors, which means that returned underscore orders dot head. Now, look at this, my friends, only has the orders which were also returned. So as you can see, this ID here, I promise you, is an ID which has to be present in this table as well. You see? So it has to be. So that's how it works. Now, I hope you guys are understanding so far. I mean, here we could do whatever you want, you know. The point here is that we are just doing some data analysis, okay? Now, I think I have to go a bit faster if I want to go through everything, or else I'll keep you the whole evening. My students know I'm very, you know, I talk too much. But let's do something cool, okay? What are we going to do? We're going to say that let's see how much value of sales we had to return by product category. How do we do this? Very simple. We say that, again, this is something you would learn in class, in the Pandas class, you know, it's not straightforward. But what do we do? Let me do this quickly. So we say that returned underscore orders dot group by, again, something you could do in Excel. Maybe you guys could tell me how you would do this in Excel for me to see what you guys know. I want to group by category, okay? And then I want to have for each one of those, for each category, sales, comma, profit. Okay, so what did I do? Return orders dot group by parentheses category squared brackets sales and profit dot sum, and then open and close. What happens here? Look at this, my friends. Aha, Diogo Sanchez saying a pivot table. Very good, Diogo, our Excel master. You are also the Pandas master in class. But here we go, guys. What we have here, I have for each category, furniture, office supplies, technology. Don't forget that the categories are another column present here. You see, category. We know how much value we have in sales and profit, which we had to return. Okay. And this is the insights we want to give to our management. Okay. And so now let's perform a graph of this. Okay. For this, we're going to use a library called matplotlib. So import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. My students know how much I like or dislike, you'll never know, this library. What are we going to do? We're going to plot the value of sales returned. How we're going to do this? plt.bar, where you say x equals returned underscore categories dot index, okay, comma height equals, and here you're going to have to write returned underscore categories, open and close, sales. It seems like a lot of code. Let's see if it works. Did I make a typo? Sorry. I have to say upstairs here, return, this is equal to return underscore categories equals this, of course. We have to store it. And now, there you go. Look at this, everybody. What are we seeing right now? We did this table, which we had back here, called returned underscore categories. We have now this column, sales, plotted in a bar plot. Looks great, right? And now somebody was asking me in the beginning, but wait, how do I now put this chart back to Excel? Imagine that was your objective. That's not a problem. What are we going to do? We're going to say that we had our book. Once again, we're going to say that our book right now, let's see, I don't think we defined it properly. So let's just make sure we say this. Our book is equal to xw, once again, dot book, open and close, dataset dot xlsx. Okay? And we do this, and now all of a sudden our book right now, if I do book.sheets, I have all the worksheets of this Excel, once again, just like I explained to you in the beginning of the class. Okay? And now what are we going to do? We're going to say, okay, book.sheets.add graph. Okay, let's see what happens. A new Excel page opens, and we're going to say that our target underscore sheet is equal to book.sheets open close 0. Why 0? Because I'm getting here the first worksheet. So there I go. And now it's very simple, everybody. Now that this target sheet is my graph, what are we going to do? Very simple. Target underscore sheet dot pictures dot add, and we're going to add my figure, which I'll define in a minute, and we're going to give it a name equals my plot. So for this, everybody, I missed one step. You'll have to forgive me. What did I miss? I missed upstairs here. We have to say that before the plot, okay, we have to say that fig equals plt.figure. Why? What's going on? Here, I'm defining a figure, okay, which I'm now going to plot, nothing special. And then here, when I add it, I'm going to add the figure. And if everything went okay, if I didn't make a mistake, what's going to happen? By magic, all of a sudden now, your Excel spreadsheet has the graph that you wanted to create in Python, okay? So this is pretty cool. Now, many of you could tell me, why not do this in Excel immediately? You could, okay? This is an example. The point is, whatever logic that can be complicated you want to do in Python, then you can go back and forth with Excel on it, okay? That's my point. Let's see if there are any questions before I go on to the second part. We did the Excel part. Now let's do the Word part. Eduardo Barreto, can you embed the image to a cell? Well, in fact, yes, you can. Well, to the entire cell, man, no, okay. You can just control where in the Excel sheet do you want the image to go, okay? Okay, so I hope this this worked here for you guys. If not, again, the code will be available for you. Let's see how we're doing here in the question section. Jose is always taking care of it. Okay. Those questions, Jose, we'll get to in a minute, I'm sure. Okay, guys. So now, are there any questions? I hope there are no more questions here. Okay. What I now want to show you is something quite simple, which is the following. I want to now, so imagine this was all my analysis. Okay. Now let's generate a Word document out of it. Okay. And here, for the sake of time, I'm going to probably be a bit faster. Okay. And just, but you'll see. So how are we going to do this? First of all, we call once again the relevant, package. How we do this? From docx import document with big D, okay? And you say that document is equal to document. Open and close. What are you doing here? Here you are creating a new Word document object in Python, okay? Very good. Now, let's see what can we do here. What can we do here? So we can do many things. We can do document dot add underscore heading, okay? We're gonna add a heading, and we're gonna call our heading top secret report highly classified. okay? And we're gonna say that the level of this thing is equal to 0. So when I do comma level 0, what I'm saying is how big do I want my word heading to be? You know how Word has many types of headings? I can open here a Word document and show you very quickly. Let's see. Blank document, why not? And you see how you have many headings, this one, etc. That's what this level over here is defining. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to maybe, say, put some text. So document dot add underscore heading. Let's put another heading called executive summary, comma level equals to 1. So this is our subheading. And then document dot add underscore paragraph. And we're gonna write down some stuff. The figure below shows, you can write whatever you want, but I'm gonna write shows the values of returned sales by product category. Okay. We have this, no problem. I'm not gonna put the picture for now. Let's just in the end do document dot save, and we're going to call this amazing underscore report dot docx. So what did I do, my friends? I did add a heading for the big heading, add another heading for the executive summary, add the paragraph, and then I saved my thing. Okay? If I run this, if I didn't make any mistake, he ran. I hope it ran also on your site. What happened? Now, if I go to my folder, look what we have here, amazing report. Let's open this bad boy over here. Let's see what happens. And here we go. We just created from Python, we created our Word document. And now, I want everybody to take a moment and think about the implications of this, okay? From my point of view, the implications of this are very simple and quite amazing, which are, here, you create the template of your report once, okay? And then from the Excel part, from the pandas part, you do all your data analysis. And then you just write down here all the things with the new values of the variables. You could write the value of my profit is X, where X has been calculated according to today's figures. You see, this is very powerful. So let's just do one more thing so that we have, our image as well in there. Let's see, how can I do this very quickly? Upstairs here in my plot, let's just do one more row of code, just so. Let's save the figure, okay? Why do I want to save the figure? You'll see. So I'm going to do plt.savefig. I'm going to call this analysis.png, and I'm going to run it. It saved the figure. Look what happened now. Inside this folder I have, which you guys should also have, you have here a file. Let's see if everything's okay. If you open it, it's a PNG file, so an image file. And right now it's not working. Let's see why. Analysis.png. Let me just run everything again. This sometimes happens. Here, just in case. I don't want to make any mistakes. Breakdown. Yeah, this sounds good to me. Here it is. Let me know if it works for you guys. Here we go. You see, we have here our image ready to, it was generated in Python from our report, and it's ready to now be included inside the Word document. How? Very simple, everybody. In here, we're going to just do document dot, think for a moment what you think is the simplest thing in Python that it could be, okay? And it's what it's going to be. Add underscore picture, and then you just call the name. I think I called it analysis.png. Let's make sure I close my Word document before doing this. Boom, it ran. It updated my amazing report. Let's see what happened now. Let's see, he's thinking. And there it is. You see, guys, you now have, just like that, you have your top secret classified report with the result of your analysis, which in this case is a graph. But it, again, I can't stress it enough. It can be whatever you want, okay? Any questions here on the Word part? I'm almost finishing. You have to give me 10 more minutes and you'll be free, don't worry. Let's see if there are any more questions. Jose has been answering. Ah, yes, João, you can then save it to a PDF. Yes, you can. Okay. Absolutely no problem. So Candice, you're getting that error. It's probably because you have your Word open. Okay. So try closing it. Okay. Close the Word and then run the code again. It should work. João, to answer your question properly, you can save it to PDF. From what I've seen, I had to use another library to save a Word document to PDF, which is a bit painful. I never managed using docx library to do that 100%, but maybe there's a way. Okay, I'm not gonna say there's no way. I don't know. Okay, but I've done that a lot before to save to PDFs, and I always use another package. Okay. Christina, no worries with VBA. Okay, great, Candice. Good to know. You know, Candice, I know that because that happened to me many times. Don't worry. Now, everybody, we're almost there. We have our amazing report done. Okay. Now it's time to send it by email. Okay. So almost there. Now's the part which very likely you guys will not be able to code along. Okay. Very, very likely. Why? Because to code along this part, first of all, you need to have Outlook installed on your computer. Okay, so I have here Outlook. Okay, if I go here to Outlook, and you have to have your email synchronized. This can happen to many. So this is always a problem to set up. And so this is where I'm going to use that package that some of you said you weren't being able to do. Import win32com.client as win32. This is another special package that, to my knowledge, okay, only works on Windows. So sorry. Nevertheless, guys, don't be mad at me. Because I thought this really sucked, I'm also going to share with you in the end some code that allows you to send emails using Gmail. Okay, so it's going to be okay. So I'm going to import this library that only works for Windows, sorry. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to say my Outlook is equal to win32.dispatch, okay? And it's going to be an Outlook.application. This has to be written exactly like I wrote it, okay? And then here comes the fun part. Email is equal to Outlook, which is your Outlook folder, okay, that he created, dot create item with a big I, 0. What is he doing? He is creating, right now, he is creating a new email object, okay? Let's see if there are no problems, no problems. And now, inside this email object, you have all the things available. Available. Yes, Ines, sorry, only for Windows, but again, I'm going to show you all this in Gmail after, okay? Don't worry. I'm sorry, and that will work for Macs as well. It's because this package was really developed for the Windows operating systems in big companies, you know? What can I say? Okay, so, by the way, guys, I've been saying a lot of this object. Think of this email, which I say it's an object, as a box, okay? It's a box that has many tools inside. One of them is email.to, okay? And I'm gonna send this email to myself. Let's see, pedro.carneiro@ironhack.com, okay? The email is gonna have a subject, okay? Email.subject is equal to, hello mate, how are you? Okay. Let's really do it with some, like, let's really make it look like spam. I know I can't make it look like spam, or else, you know, they might think it's spam. So let me write down something proper. So this is a serious weekly report, okay? Or else I'm afraid my Gmail will block it as spam. So this has happened to me before. Email.body equals, here, let's do here 3 commas, okay? 3 quotes, so that you can just have an email. Let's do this, guys. Dear all, please find attached my amazing report. I want a raise. Thank you, Pedro. Okay? And then let's just send this like this with no attachments for now. Sometimes the attachments give you problems. Email.send. And if I didn't make any mistakes, oops, sometimes this happens. I don't know why. I solved this by putting it all in the same folder, in the same thing. Okay. This happened to me. Wait a minute. .send with a big S. Let's see if this makes a difference. Here we go. My bad. Email.send with a big S. Okay. Now's the moment of suspense. I don't know if this will this will work. Let's see here. Gmail. Something you should never do. You should never open your personal email in front of 400 people. There you go. You see? It worked, everybody. Oofish. You see? Here we are. So, and now it's there. It came at 550. So you guys, you know, believe me. And now this worked. I just successfully managed to send. Let me find you again. I can't see you. There you go. I just successfully managed to send an Outlook email from my local computer to another email address. Okay. If I want to send a report, which is the last step, send with attachments. Okay. Again, very simple, the actual process. You just do, let me copy this or else I don't make any mistake. What do? I had this here prepared. So email.attachments.add, and then you have to put here the source. This is very important. Okay. And then let's close it here. So let's see, with me, everybody with me. Email.attachments with a big A, .add, where the source equals, you have to put the path to where your document is, and then of course, which in my case is this, right? And then of course the name of the document. So in this case, I think it was amazing_report.docx, okay? So now, if everything worked, let's see, fingers crossed, everybody. I sent it again. If I now open here my Gmail again on this side, sometimes when it has attachments, it takes some time longer, but no, here it is, look. When my attachment received at 552. So you can see I'm not deceiving you, okay? Okay, everybody. So this was it from the code perspective. This is what I wanted to show you. I wish I had more time because I have here some other little tricks. But are there any questions? I hope this is clear. Like, again, even if you never used Python and this is new to you, I imagine I just gave you a big beating, okay? Nevertheless, take this, okay? Take the fact that with a few lines of code, I can do so many cool things, okay? And it's relatively readable, you know? There's one last thing that I promised I had shown you, and then Raquel, I promise I'll stop after. which is I'm going to copy here and paste the code of the Gmail. Okay, so everybody, here it is. For those who prefer Gmail, okay, I got you covered. So I was also a bit upset when I realized that it didn't work for Mac, okay, that other package. And so here it is. For those, you have to do one very important thing. First of all, you have to go here to the email from where you want to send, okay? Go to the email account from where you want to send on Gmail and go to this link. And you will have to, which is something called less secure apps, you'll have to allow less secure apps to connect. Why? Because this Python code is a less secure app that's trying to connect, okay? And so for this, I created a new email account, peterram@ironhack@gmail.com. My password here is unicorns123 hashtag, so my usual password, of course. And what happens then? You have to connect to the server, the Gmail server. You have to do this little weird code that basically what it's doing, it's preparing the server to make the communications, okay? And then you log in, okay? So I'm sending an email from here, and then you do server.sendMail, you say from where you want to send to where you want to send, okay? So here I could put again, pedro.carneiro@ironhack.com, and you send the message saying hello. And so if you run this, okay, I have to import some stuff. Actually, I'm glad this error happened so that, or else it wouldn't work for you guys. Let me get here the correct stuff. Actually, well, if you guys don't mind, I'll put here the correct version in the end, okay? I think you have to import smtplib. Let's just make sure, yeah, here we go. And if everything now works, he closed the connection. And now if I go one last time to my Gmail account, he's on his way. You know, he's probably still not there, but he's on his way. I think I have to refresh this. Sometimes it goes to spam, guys. Watch out. The Ironhack email is wrong. Thank you, Pedro.Carneiro. Is it? Yes, excellent catch. Wow, I would stay here for a long time to catch that one. Who did this? Tomiwa, thanks a lot. Let's see, everybody, if now we're here. And so somebody has been getting emails from me generated by a bot, such is life. And now let's see it coming. Here it is, Peter M, hello. So I'll give you this code so you guys can also work, okay? Last thing I want to say is my friend Elliot, he's in the crowd today, one of my students. He told me today he got a job in a really cool company as a data analyst. Congratulations, Elliot, okay? Really, really proud. Okay, Raquel, over for me. I'll stop talking. I'm sorry I went over time.
It's totally fine. Guys, this was intense, I'm imagining, especially for those of you who have no background or very little background. Again, I will remind you again and again and again that this is all recorded. So, of course, you can review all of these. And if you want to keep on practicing, which I hope you do, please review this and try to do this again with your own time, making pauses in the video and so on. You will spot the typos, you will spot where you got wrong, if you got lost in some point and you couldn't keep up after that. But anyway, thank you so much for your feedback. We still have a little bit of time, so let's go for a few questions if you have. For the questions that have not been answered yet, of course, because I know that Jose has been answering a lot of your questions during the code along, and it was amazing because you guys were engaging with each other and helping each other, so that was great. But if you still want to make a bit more of generic questions, like not related to the code along, those are a bit technical, but if you want to know more about the topics that we discussed or about Ironhack, like please feel free to still do that. Thanks a lot for your feedback. Amazing. Glad to know you've learned a lot. While we don't have questions, okay. Where can we find the recorded version? In this very link. However, you all will be receiving a follow-up email, so with a link, so you don't get lost or anything. You can always keep this up. So don't worry about it. First of all, follow-up link. Second of all, you can find it on this link. Okay. Actually, all webinars are recorded, so if you want to review some of our old webinars, you can also do that. All right. I don't know if we will be having more questions, but in any case,
I just share my email as well in case anybody wants to send me any stuff. Okay.
All right.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think there's a question here.
Yes.
This might be an extra lesson. Good start. But any suggestion, recommendation to run these scripts automatically without admin rights?
Without admin rights on your computer. So what you could do is, but you want to run it locally from your computer, right? What you could do is you could set up a small server in your computer using something called Flask, okay? Flask does like a small web server, which allows you to then trigger all these scripts based on the click of a button, based on a HTTP request, okay? So I think that answers your question. Like the short answer is normally no. You know, without admin rights, you can't do these things. But there's always a way around it. Okay. I see here my friend Mariana. I will use your email to test my bot scripts. Don't do that, Mariana. I'll be very upset with you. Okay. You can use my unicorns123 hashtag email if you want. This one you can.
All right. I hope that answered. Guys, just quick thing. If you want to know a bit more about just again, upcoming webinars, even data, web, or UX, you can do so in the green button that you have here below the videos. And of course, extra resources like our blog posts and the sites to know the bootcamps and so on. You can do so, okay? And one other thing is that the questions that have been answering here on Ask a Question, and also the link, of course, will be here even after the video ends. So when you are watching the recording, you will access this as well, okay? Amazing feedback. Can you send us the code line? Paolo asks. I think you will be adding a few things in the end, right, Pedro?
Yeah, I'll send both the one that I coded in class and also the one that I had prepared, which has a bit more code for some stuff, okay? So that can be useful for you guys. Thanks everybody a lot for the feedback. You guys are always amazing, very kind to us as always. It was really a pleasure. And also thank you, Jose and Raquel, as always, amazing job. And on my side, that's it.
It was super cool. I think it was all very clear. Since we don't have a lot of questions in the end, we had a lot of questions during. So this was a great sign that you were all trying to keep up. Amazing. And your feedback, always great. Let us know other kind of feedback. You can always get in contact with us. And I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
See you next time.